Now on NBC Palm Springs at 11 o'clock, trial testimony has concluded on a former substitute teacher accused of sexual misconduct. We have those details. That's ahead. Also tonight, the push to show identification before voting is growing across Riverside County. We speak with folks here at home to hear how they feel about the proposal. That's ahead.
I'm Pablo Alcina. Temperatures finally below 90. I like that, and it's going to cool off even more. NBC Palm Springs at 11 begins now.
Now, connecting the valley, this is NBC Palm Springs at 11.
Good evening, everybody. It's great to have you here on this Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mark Mester. A former substitute teacher was convicted of felony and misdemeanor charges against a minor and a relative's girlfriend earlier today. It's tonight's top story. 31-year-old Edward Alvarado Valadez of Coachella was found guilty of committing lewd acts against a minor, among other charges. Jurors began deliberations on Monday afternoon following nearly a week of testimony. They returned to the Banning Justice Center this morning and announced unanimous verdicts during this afternoon. Valadez was a former Coachella Valley Unified School District employee. He was suspended and later dismissed from his job after the allegations surfaced. He was revoked from his bond and is currently booked into the county jail right now. A sentencing date remains pending. The suspect facing murder charges in a decades-old homicide case out of La Quinta was back in court today. Alex Anthony Uribe pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in the 2002 shooting death of 27-year-old Hernan Marquez. Investigators say that Marquez was leaving a house party on Avenida Mendoza in the early morning hours of August 11, 2002, when an altercation broke out and he was shot and killed. The case went cold for more than 20 years, but after a review by the Riverside County Sheriff's Department and its cold case team, new leads led to Uribe's arrest. He's being held on $1 million bail at the Robert Presley Jail. His next court date is set for March 13th. A new push for voter identification is gaining momentum in Riverside County. It would require California voters to show identification before casting a ballot. Our Alondra Campos tonight reports.
More than 1 million signatures have now been submitted to the registrars of voters across the state in support of a petition calling for a voter identification requirement in California. Of those 1.3 million signatures, more than 130,000 were submitted in Riverside County by the organization Californians for Voter ID. U.S. Representative Ken Calvert expressed his support for the proposal and was on hand at the county's Office of Registrar of Voters when the signatures were submitted.
We do not run a very efficient election process here in the state of California, and a lot of people have no confidence in the election process in California. So this is a step forward. The signatures will now go through a validation process before the proposal can move forward. If enough signatures are verified, the initiative could appear on the November statewide election ballot. The petition would require voters in California to provide identification, such as a driver's license, before casting a ballot in person. Or if voting by mail, provide the last 4 digits of a unique identifying number from a government-issued identification that matches the one designated by the voter during their registration. Local Congressman Raul Ruiz shared his opposition to the measure through a statement in which he stated, open quote, "New voter ID requirements will not solve a real problem. They will create barriers for working families, seniors, students, and rural voters," end quote. Local political group Democrats of the Desert also spoke out against the measure.
The outcome really is it's injustice. Citizens who are eligible all deserve the opportunity to vote. And if we are curtailing that by creating barriers, and for many, many people, for so many reasons, that's not acceptable.
The measure is also sparking debate among young voters, some who say it is unnecessary.
Showing your ID to prove citizenship or your legalness isn't right. People already don't vote enough, and I think this just is more restrictions on it.
While others fully support it.
I believe it's a normal thing, going into bars, showing that you have to be over 21. It's normal for some people, and it's usually a common thing to show your ID, so I wouldn't really mind.
That was Alondra Campos reporting this evening. A pedestrian was killed following a traffic collision in Palm Desert this morning. Deputies from the Riverside County Sheriff's Office responded around 7:40 this morning at Portola Avenue and Frank Sinatra Drive after reports of a vehicle striking a pedestrian. When they arrived, they found an adult woman in the roadway with significant injuries. She was transported to a local hospital where she was later pronounced dead. Authorities say the driver remained at the scene, cooperated. They say drugs and alcohol do not appear to be factors in the crash. We're still awaiting the victim's identity at this hour. A suspect has died following an officer-involved shooting at a country club in Cathedral City last night. According to police, they received a report of an assault around 7 o'clock Monday night at the Date Palm Country Club. Officials say the caller reported the unidentified suspect forced their way into a home and stabbed one of the occupants. The caller says they knew the suspect. When police arrived on the scene, they found the suspect standing outside the home, armed with a weapon. That's when an unidentified officer opened fire. The suspect died from the gunshot wounds. The victim was taken to the hospital for injuries and has been released. The officer involved in the shooting will be placed on administrative leave pending an internal investigation. Let's take a break from the headlines. Get a check on tonight's forecast. Live pictures right now from our Agua Caliente Casino camera. High above right there in downtown Palm Springs. We're going to send things over to our Pablo Alcina, who has the latest. Hey, Pablo.
Hey, Mark, let's bring in some positivity and energy and smiles because, yes, the weather is going to be gorgeous and the temperatures are going to start coming down. And if you're going to watch tennis, simply perfect weather to do so, also to play in it. 72 degrees currently, low humidity, 26%. We're not expecting rain at all for the next 10 days. Temperatures around Yucca Valley down to 54, Palm Springs 72, Indio 66. So the temperature is definitely coming down some, but it's going to get windy in Whitewater on Friday and Saturday. And Desert Hot Springs the rest of the week. Winds between 20 and 29 miles an hour. Also north of the I-10, you're going to see those 20-mile-per-hour winds. And our 3-day comfort air forecast, look at what I was mentioning, by Thursday and Friday, down to 80s and the high 70s. Gorgeous, but tomorrow will be the hottest day left in the week, around 88 degrees. I'll be back for more.
All right, our thanks to Pablo for that. Turning to more local news this evening, the Coachella Valley High School girls soccer team is on the hunt for a state championship. Today, the community cheered them on as they hit the road for that tournament. Our Brett Rosen with the story.
It's a send-off and celebration at Coachella Valley High School, where hundreds of students, faculty, city officials, and parents all came out cheering on the girls' varsity soccer team as they began their chase for a state championship. After making history last Saturday, winning the CIF Southern Section title, which no other girls' soccer team in the desert had done since 2019. And it had been nearly 2 decades since the Coachella Valley High School team had won a CIF title, with the boys soccer team winning back in 2007.
It feels unreal, it feels that the whole valley, the whole community is coming together to celebrate us, not only just me, but my whole team. Having this little school, the first school built, being recognized finally over years, it just feels really, really good.
From students to parents, everyone had signs and was making noise in support for their girls' team. District board members, as well as the families, saying this group of girls have already made their community proud.
Very, very excited. I think the community is excited. This is a time when we're all coming together to support our Lady Arabs, and they're on their way to hopefully winning a state title.
And the girls, they've just done something amazing. So we're also proud and out here coming out, from our jobs and just out here to support.
And during the celebration and send-off, the district officials and school faculty spoke to the players and students about the achievements already made. But finishing up the speeches was head coach Francisco Morales, who says the job isn't finished.
They know that there's a state tournament with a lot of champions in there and a lot of really tough teams, but they have the attitude that they don't want to be denied, and they're approaching that game with the attitude that they want to keep their season alive.
I'm Brett Rosen, NBC Palm Springs.
Palm Desert High School hosted its second annual literacy celebration called Meet at the 50, bringing together kindergartners and high school seniors for a full circle moment. Students from Reagan, Carter, and Lincoln elementary schools, and also Washington Charter School, gathered on the Aztec football field. Kindergartners walked to the 50-yard line to meet their 480 senior partners. To receive a new book from the Riverside County Office of Education Read With Me program and read side by side in the middle of the field. The event highlights mentorship, literacy, and the journey from a student's first day of school all the way to graduation. New at 11 tonight, Tonight was the Desert Town Hall in Indian Wells, and they welcomed world-renowned photographer Platten. Platten is one of the world's most renowned portrait photographers, having photographed more world leaders than anyone else in history, including 6 American presidents. He spoke to nearly 2,000 attendees at the Renaissance Esmeralda in Indian Wells tonight. Students who participate in the Youth Town Hall portion of the program were able to ask him questions prior to him taking the stage tonight. Desert Town Hall Speaker Series is presented by the HN and Francis C. Berger Foundation. Coming up next here on this Tuesday evening, gas prices jumped 11 cents overnight as fighting in the Middle East impacts oil prices. What experts are warning tonight? That's next. And then 2 new resources for those diving into the world of cryptocurrency. Crypto Fitz shares more about his latest books. That's still to come here on this Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Committed to covering our community. You're watching NBC Palm Springs at 11.
Cathedral City's LGBT Plus Days is the state's first pride celebration of the year, and it starts this Friday. Today they announced that DAP Health's Stonewall Medical Center is the festival's platinum sponsor. The medical center is located in Cathedral City, and it's known as a hub for the LGBTQ plus community by offering gender-affirming care, services for free sexual wellness services, and accessible HIV and primary care. This year, DAP said they're proud to highlight the center by sponsoring the main stage of the amphitheater and taking part in the crowd favorite bed race for the first time.
DAP Health serves over 10,000 individuals who identify as LGBTQ. And part of our mission is to ensure that every person feels seen, heard, and affirmed. We can't think of a better way to do that than to sponsor LGBT Plus Days in Cathedral City. This year, more than any other year I can imagine, community matters. And being part of something that brings us together, that unifies us, and that gives us something to celebrate, it's never been more critical.
The 10th annual Cathedral City LGBT Plus Day celebration takes place from March 6th to March 8th. In consumer news this evening, oil and natural gas prices keep climbing as the conflict with Iran continues for a 4th day. FactSet data says Brent oil futures jumped 6%, and the U.S. benchmark is up the same amount. The conflict also hitting global markets, with all major indices, 3 of them, are down in pre-market trading. And as California continues to lead the nation in the highest gas prices tally, many local drivers are feeling the squeeze. We're hearing from experts about what could be next. Here's Kai Beach.
At this Palm Desert gas station, politics are playing out at the pump.
Okay, everybody's going to hate me when I say this, but I trust Trump. He has a strategy. He's a but he has a strategy of what he does.
Local drivers are sounding off as gas prices continue to climb.
We have our own oil here, and that's what our president said. He said it was going to get cheaper, so I'm just surprised that it's going up this high.
According to the American Automobile Association, the national average for a gallon of gas is around $3.10. In California, that number jumps to $4.67. And in Riverside County, drivers are paying $4.60.
Supply is tight, and that puts more pressure on prices at the pump.
Candace Redd is a spokesperson with AAA. She says prices have increased 30 cents over the past month and 5 cents in just the last week. She points to several factors behind this spike, including refinery shutdowns in California and ongoing conflicts in the Middle East, impacting global oil markets.
All of those factors are constantly shifting, but I can share that you can expect prices to continue to increase.
And while gas prices aren't at record highs, local drivers say the pain at the pump is real.
It needs to go down, hopefully anytime soon. Yeah, it's going to affect a lot of families and a lot of people, hardworking people.
And for many here in Palm Desert, their patience and wallets are running on empty.
I'm paying $400 a month to get to work and back, and the price of living on top of it. So
I'm Kai Beach with NBC Palm Springs.
Time now for another Crypto Fits, and we like to show you resources along the way so that you can learn about the industry yourself. And Crypto Fits has 2 new resources just for you. You've written 2 books. What made you decide that that was the route you wanted to go?
I get asked constantly questions about Bitcoin and crypto, Olivia, and so many people have heard misinformation, etc. And as I say, it's like learning 6 languages at one time to begin with, right? A lot of information. So I was inspired to go ahead and write these 2 books, basic from my entertainment background. I wasn't a financial advisor. I got hooked into this, went down the rabbit hole about 6 years ago, and really studied the importance of what's going on with the transfer of analog to the digital world, even on Wall Street, and the intersection of tech and finance. And I wanted to do something that was fun, relatable, non-threatening, and not talking over everyone's heads. You know, there are a lot of great people who have written books about Bitcoin and crypto, but they start off way up here, and you lose people. You know, you start talking tech too much and everything, and you lose them. So I wanted to make it fun, some entertainment analogies. So I have 2 books. The first one, it's actually the start of a series, Why You Should Pay Attention To. Book 1 is Why You Should Pay Attention to Bitcoin and Crypto. The new one I just released is Why You Should Pay Attention to Bitcoin and Crypto ETFs, Exchange Traded Funds. We've talked about that here on our Crypto Fit segment. I break it down, I have fun, it's a simple read, it's an ebook, and I hope people will check it out and that they use it as a good tool.
Our thanks to Crypto Fits for that. We have live pictures tonight from our Agua Caliente casino camera high above there in downtown Palm Springs. Pablo Alsina standing by with that all-important 7-day forecast. That's on the other side of this commercial break. We'll be right back.
glycerine. It must be your skin that I'm sinking in. It must be for real, 'cause now I can feel, 'cause I didn't mind. It's not my time, it's not my kind to wonder why everything's gonna wind and everything's great. Now you're here. Don't want this, remember that, will you forget? I'm Pablo Alsina. Look at the live shot from the Walter Clark cam. You'll notice not much wind in this part of our area, but there's other parts that will get a lot windier on Thursday and Friday. As for tomorrow, heat-wise, we're going to be between 85 and 89 degrees. Some breezy winds, a little fog in the morning, but not much. Very nice, warm and dry, and it's going to cool off more. Tomorrow should be the hottest day left in the week. And again, we were 11 degrees hotter than normal. Every single day in March has been above normal by more than 10 degrees. The record 96 back in 1934. Were we the hottest in the whole Southwest? No, we weren't. We tied Yuma. Well, so technically still the hottest, but just a tie there. But nobody, the whole Southwest, reached 90 degrees. High temperatures for us. Palm Desert came the closest at 89 degrees. Thousand Palms at 86. Cabazon, they had a high of 77 degrees. The low temperatures for tonight, which, by the way, if you go out, the moon looks about as full as it gets. Looks gorgeous. 60 degrees in Palm Springs, 58 in Palm Desert. Very little clouds also, so very great night to get some stargazing in because it's not that cold. Tomorrow morning, gorgeous 60 degrees by 6 a.m. By noon, we'll be in the mid-80s and heating up a little bit more towards 2 in the afternoon. 7-day comfort air forecast. Again, I said tomorrow the hottest day of the week. After that, we're going to cool off significantly. Low 80s to high 70s the whole rest of the week with some clouds, but really no chance of rain. I'm Pablo Alsina. Keep it here on NBC Palm Springs.
NBC Palm Springs Sports with Tim O'Brien, powered by Agua Caliente Casino.
And just like that, another desert smash in the books here in the La Quinta Resort and Club. And from celebrities to a lot of money being donated to charity, just the whole thing from top to bottom is a 10.
Yeah, we just saw final play end, and now, of course, we've got, all the influencers down here on the court taking their pictures with all of the celebrities and gearing up for what's going to be an exciting few weeks of tennis ahead of us.
Yeah, before we get into Indian Wells Tennis Garden and the BNP Paribas Open, which begins first round play on Wednesday, today we saw Emily in Paris, Lily Collins, come down on court during the live auction. You were able to go visit her on set in Paris, and she made it clear to say Paris, France, not Paris anywhere else. You could try on the costumes on set. Then they threw in tickets to the Wimbledon Open, French Open, and U.S. Open. Finals, men's and women's, 2 tickets each. That was unbelievable. And how much did that go for?
I can think of worse ways to spend 60 grand. It went for $60,000. When you think of it all, it's actually a pretty good deal, Tim.
Well, you think about all the travel, the tickets itself, U.S. Open and Wimbledon are similar to Super Bowl prices. I bet you it's not too far off for what they would have paid otherwise.
Absolutely. So got to see that sort of star power down here on the court, giving away some incredible options and auction prizes. And then, of course, we had the purple carpet earlier. We got to see Naomi Osaka up close and personal. And then we also got to see Alina Svitolina, number 9 ranked Ukrainian women's player. So exciting. And we actually had the chance to talk with her. Take a look.
First and foremost, how good is it to be back here in the desert?
Yeah, it's exciting. Looking forward to begin the tournament, and yeah, just nice weather, good crowds. It's always very motivating.
A lot of great talent out here always. The venue, there just always seems to be such a buzz surrounding this tournament, but people get down to it. Talk to me about the competition and just overall atmosphere.
I think it's something that we're looking forward to. It's always very enjoyable. It's very fun to play here. I really enjoy everything, about this tournament, and I think it's just a perfect place to play tournament and to play, competitive tennis.
So excited to see players like Alina and, of course, Naomi. So many exciting players coming up ahead of us. Now, can we talk about the BNP?
Yeah. The world number 1s on both sides will make an appearance here into the desert. Round 1 play begins on Wednesday. All eyes will turn to the tennis gardens in Indian Wells, just a mere couple hundred yards that way over the mountain. But one of the greatest events out here in the valley, and one of just beautiful venues in the country.
It's just gorgeous out here in La Quinta. Going to be great in Indian Wells. It is gorgeous here tonight. We have the best job in the world, Tim.
Yeah, not bad being here right now. The weather is perfect. Not like other parts of the country, but that's why we're so lucky. That'll do it in sports, though. That's Caitlin Kelly. I'm Tim O'Brien. We'll send it back to you.
And now the Agua Caliente Entertainment Report, brought to you by Agua Caliente Casinos.
I wonder if it's by design, you love it, you fall, and it hurts every time.
Indio native and American Idol winner Abby Carter will perform at the BNP Paribas Open tomorrow. Carter is going to kick off festivities at 5 p.m. at the Village Stage, which is located between stadiums 1 and 2 at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. The performance will happen just before the first evening session of the tournament. And then on Saturday, Six Wire with country artist Sarah Evans and Zach Barnett of the American Authors will perform at 2 p.m. And then we have the Bryan brothers, the famed doubles players. They'll take the stage from 4 to 6 p.m. on March 10th. 2 major streaming services are going to become one. Paramount Plus and HBO Max will form a single streaming platform after Paramount's merger with Warner Brothers Discovery. Paramount CEO David Ellison announced the plan during an investor call on Monday. Ellison did not reveal a name or pricing for the streamer, saying the combination would take place over the coming years. The merger must still be approved by regulators, which will take at least several months. We'll be right back. All right, finally tonight, cheese lovers having the best time in Madison, Wisconsin right now. That's because they can sample all the delicious offerings at the 2026 World Championship Cheese Contest. Dairy producers from around the globe submit their best cheeses for the chance to become world champion. Fans can watch a live stream of the showdown online. The competition wraps up on Thursday. That's pretty standard for Wisconsin.
If they need judges, I would love to be a judge on a cheese contest.
Do you have a favorite type of cheese?
I love blue cheese. I like all kinds of cheese.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
Okay, I'm going to go with aged cheddar.
Like that too.
See you tomorrow. Good night.